Walked into the basement and I see Bernard down there and he was forcing his nephew to...
Do you believe that your son was...
Not at all.
That never happened. I'm not allowed, I don't like being around kids because I don't like kids.
I never heard of him touching him. My son ain't never told me.
I wouldn't lie to nobody about something like that.
When did you tell me this?
The same day that it happened.
When?
The same day that it happened. You know what you're doing.
If you
You know what you're doing to him. I'm not gonna lie about that. I caught you.
You better not run off this stage. I've been told by my wife that he made a very shocking, disturbing confession to you.
Yes, he did, Steve.
Where is he at? I'm not playing.
Get your ass back here. In 2012, Marlon says he made a shocking discovery. He claims he caught his ex-boyfriend, Bernard, sexually molesting his own nephew. Both Bernard and his sister, Nakia, deny these accusations. You see, they believe Marlon is making up this story because he's obsessed with Bernard. Take a look.
Marlon called the show and he's accusing my brother of molesting my son. I don't think any of this ever happened. I don't think Bernard ever did anything like this. I don't think he would do anything to a child, period. When CPS came knocking at my door, I was wondering, like, what was the situation about? They had told me that my brother had touched my son. I told them that was not possible. They asked me, how did I know? I told them because my brother wouldn't do anything like that. He's not that type of person. We went to a child development class. They interviewed my son on the television. He said nothing never happened. Bernard never touched him in no type of way. They gave him an STD test, and it came back, nothing was wrong with him. He never been touched or anything. After he got his tests, CPS got it, and the detectives and our case was closed out. I know Marlon through a friend of the family, and I've been knowing him for 3 or 4 years. The fact that he's saying this really does shock me. I think he's a lonely old man. He's just obsessed with my family. He's obsessed with Bernard. Marlon has crossed the line. He's going to my son's father, James, and he was supposed to come to me about it because I take care of him. I'm just tired of it. I just wish this all be done. I really hope that the tests come back that Bernard did not do it. Marlon, I hope he goes to jail for lying. And today, I want answers. I want all of this to be done and over with.
Marlon, you say that a couple years ago, you walked in on something and was pretty shocking.
Yes, I did.
What was that?
I walked into the basement. Okay, let me start off from the beginning. Me and Nikita's son was sitting on the couch. He was playing with my phone, playing a video game that he had downloaded to my phone. Okay, he gets up and he walks down into the basement. Something just tells me walk down there in that basement to see what's going on down there in that basement. I get up and I walk down there into the basement and I peep down and I see Bernard down there with he had on his robe. His robe was open and he was forcing his nephew to give him oral sex. I mean, just blatant, just disrespect. You know what I'm saying? I ran down there immediately. I whooped his ass.
Bernard's ass.
I whooped his ass. You know? I don't know who you think he is. I snatched him.
And Bernard at this time is your boyfriend, right?
Yeah, that was at the time. You know what I'm saying? That ain't nothing I claim no more, Steve.
Of course not.
But at that time, yeah, we were dating, you know? And that's the whole reason that the relationship ended. I was telling Nikita that this was going on with her son. She didn't care nothing about it. When she gets to the hospital, you know what she tells the doctor? That her son was running through the house and he tripped and fell and a pencil went down his throat. And that caused a breathing problem. I'm thinking in my head, if a pencil go down your throat, that might puncture your lungs. Something else is going on. I kind of suspected that, you know what I'm saying? And by the way that he was up there acting whenever Bernard is around and stuff, I kind of suspected that. Because he's afraid of Bernard.
How long had you and Bernard been together at this point?
Oh, I'd say about a few months. We hadn't been together that long.
And were you lovers?
Yes. Nothing I'm proud of.
Well, if you're a gay man, there's nothing to be ashamed of, right?
No, that ain't nothing to be proud of. If you see him when he come out here,
okay.
Steve, you understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
I mean, what dude walk around with weave in his head? You should have seen how he came up at me at the airport.
But you liked him.
I don't know what was wrong with me. It must have been, I don't know.
Your demeanor is a little unusual about this type of story.
I don't know.
After you saw Bernard, as you say, forcing himself on the nephew, how did you react? You said you physically attacked him.
I ran down in that basement and I whooped his ass. I grabbed that child and I ran back upstairs. I ran him back upstairs.
Did you call the police?
No, I should have called them.
Why didn't you call the
Because
police?
9 times out of 10, the police don't never listen to me anyways.
So you didn't call the police?
No.
Did you tell anybody about this?
You know, I told the kid about it. I told his
How long afterwards?
I told the kid the minute she got through that door. You know what the kid did? Turned right back around and walked back out that door like she cared less.
Now, you know that they're here today,
Yes,
and
I
they
do.
believe that you're making this whole thing
I
up.
wouldn't make nothing like this up. Why would I call his dad, a man that I never met a day in my life? And I began to tell him what was going on with his son. He urged me to go and make a police report.
The father did.
Yes.
The father of the child that
Yes,
was
he did.
abused. Why wouldn't he do it?
Because he said, I witnessed this. He told me to get up and go down there and go make that
did you-
police
did
report.
you go
yes,
do
I
it?
did.
And
When
you
I
went
got down there to the precinct, you know what they did? Told me to get right back out their precinct.